Hello. We are
Hello,
live.
everyone.
I just
We
tweeted
didn't
that
have
we're
technical difficulties this time.
live.
So
No,
proud
we
of
were
us.
just running late, as per usual. If there's a time where we are on time, I will be very shocked.
Yeah. Being late is our thing.
It just is, you know.
Yeah.
I just stayed in bed a little bit too long this morning,
That's
thinking I had all the
okay.
time in the world, and I did not. Okay, so today's live show discussion is on Talk Flirty to Me by Livy Hart. I'm really excited to chat with you about this book because, like, we've talked about it a little bit with each other, but, like, not a lot. So,
Just a little bit.
I'm very intrigued to hear all of your thoughts.
Yeah.
I took some notes while I was reading, but not a lot. And I've read this book quite a few times at this point. So I just like took notes after the fact. So I wrote down like favorite scenes, and I know that I'm missing some, but I'm hoping that they'll come to me in the moment, or I can check the book. I was too lazy to grab my annotated copy yesterday when I was doing this. To find my favorite parts. So.
Yeah. I feel like the whole book is just your favorite scene. So.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I also don't know if these are like in the correct order of like the way that I wrote them.
Fine.
I can't remember. Yeah. But this live show is very exciting because at about 3 p.m. my time, so in just under an hour, we're going to be having Livy Hart join us. So the author of the book will be joining us to discuss it a little bit. We have some questions prepared to ask her. If you guys have any questions, make sure to ask them when she joins about the book or her writing process or anything. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
It's our first author appearance. Probably our last one, you know.
Yeah.
It's our first one. It's exciting.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Okay, do you want to talk like overall thoughts first?
Yeah, I'll let you go first. I'm nervous about mine.
Yeah. So I adore this book. I feel like if you've been on my channel at all, you know that I adore this book. This is my 4th time reading it. Second time in its fully finished form.
Sorry, Cora's being demonic. Hang
on. But I just absolutely adore this book. I love the characters. I love the romance. I love the plot. But I think my favorite thing, like, overall, is just the writing style and, like, Livy Hart's humor. And just everything she writes is so clever to me. And I don't really know why, but I'm just like, I would never think to write some of the things that she writes in the way that she writes it. But it's so good. So, yeah, like, yeah. I also didn't think, going into this, I was like, I've annotated this so much already just in my first read that I don't know if it's possible for me to add more annotations. And then I did.
Yeah, I love that for you.
So, Rachel's here.
Hey.
Hi, Rachel. Who doesn't? I mean, I'm sure there are people who don't, but I do. Hi, Jojo. I think Joey also loves Talk Flirty to Me.
Yeah, he's putting his input.
Oh, of course. He loves Livy. Okay, those are my overall thoughts. I adore it. Enough said. I've talked about it so much on my channel at this point that it's just like, what more can I say?
Yeah. So my thoughts, I liked it. I feel like I would like it more upon a reread because I think I burnt myself out on romances because I was reading this and I don't know. I liked it. It took me a minute to get into. There was some like things in the plot that like I wasn't really sure. Like I didn't know we're gonna be in there. I don't know why I said really sure. But I wasn't expecting them to be there. But I think it added more substance because if it was just the audiobook thing, I feel like it would be repetitive. And you warned me about that too. So I really did enjoy her writing and like just like the metaphors and like similes and stuff that she was using. I was like, how did you come up with these? Like
literally,
your brain.
That's most of my tabs.
I love the writing style. It was a fun time.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, I did warn you going into it because I love this book with my whole heart, obviously. And I'm lucky enough to read it in many iterations. I say many, but like 3 different iterations. I read it shortly after Author Mentor Match, and then I read it before it was published officially, and then I read the final copy. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the audiobook narrating scenes, there were more of them originally. I could be wrong. I could just be messing things up because I've read it so many times, or like my memory's just off. But I do feel like there were more of them before, and I understand why they were cut down. And like I don't mind that it's cut down personally. Maybe it's because I did get to read the other scenes, but I just feel like it would have gotten repetitive, especially since we do get like big chunks of like the book that they are reading. But I did warn you because I had a friend who said that like they were wanting more. So I just wanted to warn you so that you knew.
Like, I want you to have the best experience possible. So warn you about a few things. I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, because like it is like prevalent. It's like obviously like what the book's about is they have to like do this audiobook together. So I just wanted you to be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, literally though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel this way about Rachel too, which you will discover when her book comes out.
I'm so
but
excited.
Like her writing is also so clever.
I'm excited for it.
I mean, I feel like I can't not talk about the Book of Fates when she's here. It just is what it is. Okay, should we jump into like specific notes and things? Did you take any notes?
I did not take any notes, but I tabbed one thing. Well, it wasn't even really tabbing. I just
one thing
right there.
Could never be me.
Yeah, I didn't bring my like annotating stuff with me. I just have a few little tiny circles.
Oh god, yeah, you're not at home.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
No. Yeah, yours is.
This is so satisfying to me. Yeah, but like mine is like so like the tabs just like push this like fanned this book out. So it was so fun to like read it and just like all the pages are just curling inwards.
I love that.
That's funny.
My copy, the pages are curled too. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's just the way the books were made.
Adds a little something. Adds a little something to it. Yeah.
So what was the one thing that you tabbed? I'm curious.
Let me. It was I read it and I was like, oof. It's here's the thing about broken trust. It doesn't matter what happens the next day, the next month, or even 7 years later. Especially, not especially. Every little breach from that. I can't speak. Every little breach from the moment of the first break feels bigger than the last. It's a virus that lays dormant, waiting to flare up again. I was like, okay.
I think I also have that tabbed.
Yeah, I just thought it was beautiful because it's true.
Yeah, she had so many good quotes in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So the first thing that I wrote down, because like I read the first scene, the first chapter, like whatever, and I just wanted to like know your opinions on it. So how did you like the first scene with Piper and Sam, like reconnecting? Did you like Sam right away, or are you kind of like?
I was just kind of confused. I was like, what is this man doing here? I was like, what are the odds that they're at the same place at the same time? I was confused. I liked him, but I was just like, ulterior motives, question mark. But yeah, it wasn't like I wasn't expecting that to be the first scene, but like it works.
I think it was always the first scene from what I read, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, it definitely was. It's like I love it. And I love like the nickname that he has, Hefty.
I like it too.
I can't remember if it's in the final copy, but she also called him Hallmark at one point. Was that in the final copy?
I don't remember that. I don't
think so. But like he used to also be called Hallmark. I don't remember why, but I remember in the notes that I was writing in the document, I would not call him Hefty. I would call him Hallmark.
Hallmark.
And I don't know why. I don't remember the context of that.
I like Mr. February. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, of course. I told you this, but when I first read the book, I told Livy, I was like, you need to like pre-order campaign, gotta make a calendar or like an art print of that or something. She has yet to do it, but she should.
If she doesn't, I think you would. You'd just be like, I'm just gonna commission it for you.
Yeah, if I had money, yeah, I would. Just for my own pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about something because if you were like not friends with the author, you wouldn't necessarily know this unless she's talked about it somewhere, which I don't know if she has. But this book used to only be Piper's point of view. And it's like so shocking to me, even though like I read the version of the book that just had Piper's point of view, but it's so shocking to me that Sam's point of view wasn't always there because it feels so like essential I said that
Yeah.
really weird.
Essential.
Essential. And I feel like it was so seamless that it felt like it had always been there. It needs to be there.
Yeah.
Like I still can't believe that like it wasn't always there.
Yeah, it's weird to think that it wasn't, because it flows so well, and like I feel like without his point of view, I can't imagine what the book would be like.
Yeah,
You know?
I can't obviously because I read it.
Yeah, you've read it, but
like it was still just as good.
Yeah.
But like I don't know how she did it, and I will ask her because I don't know if I have, but I have a question written down about it to ask her when she comes on, because it's so like I don't know. I feel like it would be so difficult to like take a book that is already like pretty fleshed out, finished, pretty solid, to then have to add another POV in and like figure out like how do I split the scenes now because they've always been in this one character's POV. Like I feel like it would be a very different process than starting out a book knowing it's going to be dual POV to like I don't know.
Her brain
I thought that would be so hard. And then to like come up with like all new scenes in his POV and like I don't know. I also feel like they had really separate voices. Like I never got confused about whether I was in Piper's POV or Sam's like POV. Whereas like there are books where like I have been confused. Allegiant, Veronica Roth.
Yeah, I never read that one. I'm lucky.
Or like Better Together by Christine Riccio. I was always confused on that one. And like not even just like which character I was reading from, but who was who in general. I was so confused.
Yeah, she did the dual POV very well.
Yeah, so well. It's just so seamless. And like I can't imagine the book without his POV because it's just so good to like hear him talk about their relationship and their romance and like see how they both view their relationship and like what went down. And like I know people don't like the miscommunication trope. It never bothers me because I feel like it's realistic. Maybe that's just me. But I feel like there's so often miscommunication in life because you can't read other people's minds. And people aren't always like forthright with like what they're feeling or what like why they're doing what they're doing. So I felt like it was realistic, especially since they were young when they were going through this.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It makes sense for like the age that they were because you're not gonna be the best at communicating at that age.
Yeah. And he was older and she like didn't want to hold him back. Like I totally understand why she did what he did. And then like for him to pull like a Ross Rachel, we were on a break.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Here's my thing with the Ross and Rachel on a break, right? I get it. Like technically, yes, you were on a break, So technically, no, it's not cheating, in my opinion. But also, the audacity that you have to immediately go sleep with somebody else.
Yeah, right after.
That's what I have an issue with. I'm like, you didn't even give it like, I don't remember how long it was for Sam, but I'm talking Ross and Rachel, like literally the night of.
Yeah,
like within the hour.
Right, I'm going out. Like, excuse me,
sir. That's not the way. That's not the way, Ross. Anyways.
Nope. Ross just gives me the ick. I don't know.
He's got some really funny moments, that man. What? And like David Schwimmer does it so well. I hate Ross. Anyways.
Yeah, he's icky.
Although the older I get, the more I understand his like sandwich debacle. When his like boss eats his sandwich at work, his turkey leftover sandwich.
Yeah.
Because I also would be upset and would also be like, this sandwich is the only good thing in my life. Like, how dare you eat it? That would be me.
No, that one I understand fully. It makes sense.
I get it. He's like, you ate my sandwich.
But I love how even like with the on a break thing, like Jane, she's just like, oh, I've seen this episode of Friends. I know what happens. I was like, yes.
Jane knows what's up. She knows what's up.
I love her.
I want to talk about characters a little bit. I didn't write anything really about characters except for one, but like I said, I've read this enough times that I can pull it out of my ass. So first I want to talk about Nona.
Oh, love her. She doesn't get enough screen time or page time.
No. Like I was in love with her before she was even on the page. Like they were just talking about Nona and I was like, I love her. Iconic.
Yeah.
I
feel like it's always like grandmas. There's just something about them. It's just like
I love ladies are the best.
Yeah. Plus I'm in my grandma era, so it just makes my love for grandmas even like more heightened,
There's just something about an old lady, a grandma. They have no filter. They're so old they don't give a shit.
Yeah. It's like I've been through this before, honey. You can't faze me.
Yeah, exactly. I love Nona. And like I love how much she loved Sam. This was so funny to me. Like, she just, like, did not give a shit. The mom was, like, holding a grudge against Sam, and Nona's like, I love you.
Yeah.
Like,
she's a queen.
Yeah, and then, like, the Aunt Dawn, I think. Like, if you don't marry him, I will. Like, Aunt Dawn, keep it in your pants, honey. Yeah, so what did you think of, like, the cheaper by the dozen family dynamic?
I was confused because there were so many children. I couldn't keep them straight. The only one that I remember is Nova and Caleb. The other ones I don't remember.
Understandable.
But I think it was a good aspect. But I really like how Piper, that's her name, right? Piper. Okay, good. I took a nap before the live show, so my brain is like, I'm still waking up. But I like how she, like, the family, like, she loves her family, but I like how she, like, brought up to her mom, she's like, I've been doing this for you. Like, I wish you'd have more time for your kids. I was like, that's a good point.
Why does she have so many kids?
That was my question.
Like, imagine being, like, a full-grown adult, and then, like, your mom's having a new baby.
Yeah.
So, like now Caleb's daughter is going to be older
than his sister. So weird.
And Jane's pregnant again, right?
Yeah.
It's like now they're gonna be like the same age.
Yeah.
And like the relationship is just not gonna be the same because they're so much older. That's so weird to me.
Very
strange. I love it in the book context. And like Cheaper by the Dozen, iconic.
Well, I'm just like imagining like my own family. Like if my parents be like, "Hey, we're having another kid," I'd be like, "Why?"
Please no. Like I don't want to deal with screaming babies.
No.
If it's not my own. Yeah, so I understand like not remembering each of the kids. Joey, he's like smelling the duster. Joey,
no.
What are you doing?
Why are our animals crazy today?
You're so kooky. So like I also like will admit like I don't have all the siblings clear in my head, but I also feel like it would be impossible in like a book format to like differentiate that many children and like give them all adequate page time. I feel like it's much easier in like a movie to like see all the kids and like you can like see their faces and just like even if you don't know their name, I can know their face. I also like Nova is iconic and Caleb obviously has his times to shine.
Nova at the dinner table with the milk.
Yeah.
I would have died.
Livy got pencils made for Talk Flirty to Me. She's got a pencil that has his little line on there. Yeah, it's in my room, so I can't show you, but yeah, it's so funny.
Can you send me a picture of it? I love that.
I will. Nova is hilarious. Like and like the fact that Piper could have just like played it off as like, oh, this kid's saying gibberish.
Yeah,
because she reacted the way that she did. It was like obvious that like something had happened. And like imagine being the parent and being like, you were doing what now?
Yeah.
In my house? In front of my child?
Just
like the imagery of it. And like I can see it so perfectly in my head as if it was a movie. Like the actual scene happening where he sees them and then the dinner table scene and the reactions of everyone's faces would be hilarious. And like I don't think this happens like on the page, like in the book, but like, I can just picture like Sam like falling off the bed or something like really dramatically in like an attempt to like, you know, or like throwing her off the bed to like try to hide her, like, you know, I don't know, something funny would happen. That would just be so like iconic to see unravel on a screen. Okay, so I had many favorite scenes. Oh wait, no, we should talk about the actual main characters, Thoy.
Probably.
Piper. Do you like Piper?
I liked her. I feel like there were some things. Okay, see, like upon further reflection and actually discussing with a human that's just not my brain. Not saying my brain's a human, but like people.
It makes you human.
Yeah. But there were times where like I was like a little bit like annoyed like with the way she was doing things and the way she was handling things. But I can see why she did, like why she acted the way she did, and like her reasonings behind things is because like child she's playing with like calm yourself. But it makes sense. and like the whole thing with Sam, like she was really hurt and like she just didn't know how to like communicate that. So instead it was like just in the form of like a grudge, you know.
Yeah,
But overall,
or
I
just
like
straight up aggressiveness. Yeah. I was gonna say something and it just like left my brain. Yeah, like I think it's okay to like a character and love a character, but also recognize that like they do stupid things and like
but that's what makes them human. I feel like it made the characters like in this book feel really realistic. It's because they had like human like normal traits.
They were messy.
Yeah.
They were dumb.
They were chaotic. Yeah, you know, happens to everybody.
And as I was doing this reread, and I'm sure that I noticed it in my last read of it, but Piper's 24. And I was like, damn, I'm 24 next year. And I was like, no way. Like, I'm almost the age of Piper. Yeah, I'm 23 this year.
What? I didn't know that. Like, I knew it, but I didn't. What?
Like, you're only a year younger than me, bestie.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
Right? So I'm just like, I even texted Livy and I was like, I'm only a year, like, younger than Piper? And she's like, that means that next year is your Sam year.
Oh, like, yes. Please. Yes. We're manifesting that. Livy spoke it into the universe, so it will happen.
Piper being younger than me makes me feel like the Crypt Keeper. It's always so funny to me because, like, in our writing group chat, I think me and Morgan are like the youngest ones. Like, Barb's in her 30s, or Livy's in her 30s. My slip up. I don't remember how old Rachel is because I've got a bad memory, but I just know that like me and Morgan are the youngest, and I just always think that's so funny that we just have like this like wide range of like ages in our like writing group. I always just like assume in my head that we're the same age, but we're obviously not. And like a lot of them are married. Livy has kids. I'm just like wild.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm a baby.
I'm a baby. The only kids I've got are my kitty cats. Yeah, I love Piper. I find her relatable at times. She's just an enjoyable character for me to be in the head of, to like hear her POV, and like she's so caring and so dedicated to her craft and like so passionate. I don't know. I really enjoyed her.
I like POV. The way she thinks. I like her brain. Like the way it's portrayed. I'm just like, this sounds like my brain.
She's got a good brain in that head of hers.
She do.
And I love Sam. I wish and hope that next year is my Sam year because I need a Sam.
Yeah, it will be. It will be.
We'll see. I don't know if I'm like allowed to talk about this. I think that I am. I don't know, but like Sam's name changed multiple times, which is
I was
also
thinking
just
about
crazy.
that when I was reading it. I was like,
crazy to me because like it took me forever, and sometimes I still have to like check myself to make sure that I'm saying the right name. Because like in each version I read, he had a different name.
So like hold up.
In the first book, his name was Greg. I hate that name. But as I was reading it, I was like, yeah, he's Greg. And when she changed it, I was like, rest in peace, Greg. Like, I miss you. Even like the first time we like get his name on the page, I literally put rest in peace, Greg, and then his other name was Finn. And I was like lost but not forgotten or something.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and when I was reading it, I was just like, this used to be Greg.
Like, it doesn't fit now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still am a big fan of Finn, just because I like that name in general. But Sam fits him too.
Yeah, I like Sam.
I'm trying to think if there's any other character. I liked Caleb.
Oh, Caleb, he's a bestie. He's
a good brother. I liked how he was like protective of Piper, protective of Sam, protective of his relationships with both of them, and he was like, how dare you like make me choose? Like, like of course he was gonna like choose his sister, right? But it was just like I hated the pain that he went through because of what they like did.
Yeah, because he loves them both so much and cares for both of them, but they didn't want either of them to hurt. But like he didn't want. Imagine being put in that position though. I would. Oh my gosh, he is such a strong man.
No, and just thinking about the fact that like he didn't want a bachelor party, And he said, like, he just didn't want it, but Piper knows because it wouldn't be the same without Sam.
Yep.
I'm like, that Sam would have been his best man. And I'm just like...
Yeah. Oh, so sad.
They need to do, like, a vow renewal or something that he can be a part of.
Just for Sam.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? We're having another wedding just for you.
Just for you. So you can have your moment to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, Sam is... Oh, my God, what's the baby's name?
Cat?
Cat? Yeah. I was going to think, like, Katie or something. It's not Katie. Cat. He's
her godfather. Oh, yeah.
And then, like, there's a part where, like, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I don't know where it is. But, like, Piper finds out that he's the godfather, and then she was like, well, who's the godmother or something? And they were like, well, whoever Sam marries. And I'm like, little does she know it's gonna be her. She will be the godmother.
Yep. But I like how they were just like, why are you jealous? You're already her aunt. Like,
yeah.
Like, let him have this.
Like, I don't know how this works for, like, other people, but, like, is it usually, like, whoever the one godparent's partner is, that's, like, the other one? So, like, I don't know, because, like, my godfather is my uncle, but my godmother is, like, a cousin or something.
Oh. It's probably just, like, dependent on the family, like, whatever they want to do. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because, like, I know my siblings' godparents are my aunt and uncle. I don't know why my aunt's not mine.
Interesting.
Yeah. Odd. Anyways.
Very odd. You should ask your parents. Be like, hey, what's the meaning behind this?
I know, and I technically have 2 godmothers because my original one lives in, like, Tennessee or something. So when my confirmation came around, I needed my godmother there, but she was in Tennessee. So I had to choose somebody else to, like, step in, and it had to be somebody over a certain age. So I had to choose a different cousin who was, like, in town. So, like, technically I have 2 godmothers. It's very weird. I don't know. Anyways, we've got about 20-ish minutes until we're getting Livy onto the live show to talk about the book, which I'm very excited about. So I think we can talk about our favorite scenes, because I've got quite a few. You want me to just go through them, and then you can...
Yes, I'll bounce off of you.
Okay. So I wrote one down as I was reading, because it's, like, one of my absolute favorites. So I'm not going to talk about that one yet. I'm going to try to talk about it in relation to where I think it is in chronological order.
Okay.
We'll see how I do. So brunch at the Bellini's house.
Oh, classic.
Happens quite early on. I just adore, this is what I wrote, I just adore the chaos of her family with the added tension of Piper and Sam. Because, like, it's their first time, like, truly being back around each other in, like, a family setting, and there's, like, all these things going on in their minds. And I do believe that's the scene where she finds out about the gig, too. And it's just, like, all the chaos, and then, like, the fire on the curtains.
Oh, the curtain fire.
Because one of the kids throws, like, a firecracker thinking it was a sparkler. Iconic. And, of course, firefighter Sam has a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. I remember texting you about that. I was like, I forgot he was a firefighter, but then I realized.
Love him. Yeah, I don't know. There's something so homey about that scene. About, like, just, like, the natural chaos of the family. I feel like it was a good introduction to all the characters, except Nona, because Nona wasn't, like, we didn't physically see her there. I don't know if she was supposed to be there or not, but she didn't have a part, but we talked about her, and that's where I fell in love with her. Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene. Yeah. It made me want to have, like, a brunch party. I feel like I need to sneeze.
Have to.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Piper showing up at the fire station.
Oh, the boots. The boots.
The boots. And Forrester. Do you like Forrester? What are your thoughts on Forrester?
I'm impartial. I don't not like him, but I don't like him. I'm just like, you're a guy.
You're a guy. I'm kind of the same, but I'm also like, I love him because of the comedy that he brings. And, like, his lines
Yeah.
that he has.
He's
Like, I would
goofy.
love to read a book just about Forrester.
That would
Obsessed
be
with it.
interesting. You should tell her. Be like, hey.
I have a question to ask her about a spinoff and like what she would do. I think she might have talked about Forrester before. I know she's talked about like one of the kids, I think. But we'll see what she says when we get
Is
her on here.
Forrester his first name or his last name?
I don't remember. I don't know if it's ever mentioned. It is a weird first name now that I think about it.
Yeah, but like it's kind of groovy.
It is.
I like it.
It's fun. I literally never even thought about that.
Yeah, a companion book would be kind of iconic.
Yeah, I don't know what the plot would be, but I'm obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm. Plus, then maybe we get to see Sam and Piper again too.
Oh, obviously, that's always my favorite thing.
Please.
Love a good companion romance series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd ever write one, but I feel like that'd be fun.
I think it would. It would be.
Lock it away in my brain for a further day. Yeah, so Piper showing up at the fire station. Love that she's wearing the boots, and they're all like boots, and they're all just staring at her.
Yeah.
And then like, just her like them rehearsing the scene together and like all of that. Oh my god, and we didn't mention this during the opening scene, but he like lets it slip that like he watched her YouTube videos of like her makeup tutorials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
I forgot about the makeup tutorial.
And he like remembered details about it, and I'm like, sir, 1, how did you find this? 2,
yeah,
how many times did you watch this?
Yeah, because he was like quoting it.
He was. I love him. Mm-hmm. He's like, he loves her.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna mute for just 1 second.
Okie dokie. I just Piper and Sam make me so happy. But like seriously, like what was he looking up to find her? Like, did he look her up in YouTube? Did it just come up? I don't know. I would like to know.
Well, because I wonder if it like, well, because obviously we watch YouTube, but like I don't.
Really?
If anyone we watch YouTube. Like, I don't know if anybody I know like found my channel. Just like, how would you? Yeah, that's a good question. Did he like look her up, or like? Right. How did he stumble upon it?
I know that I had somebody from high school find my book Instagram because I, without thinking, linked it to my phone number. And so they got notified or something because it was my phone number. And so that way they found my channel. Mm-hmm. But I saw somebody I know in my TikTok For You page the other day.
Yeah, that happens to me too.
That was freaky.
It's jarring. You're like, well, why are you on TikTok?
Yeah, like I swiped away and then I swiped back up and I was like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
It's like not even somebody that like I know, but it was somebody that like I met in line for the Maisie Peters concert.
Oh.
And like, we like follow each other on Twitter, and like Instagram and stuff, and so it just like randomly came up on my For You page, and it was really weird.
I feel like TikTok just knows too much.
I swear. Okay, I had a thought to myself. I don't remember what it was now, but I thought about something. Didn't say it out loud at all. And then I was on my TikTok For You page today, and a TikTok about it came up, and I was like, I literally only thought that.
That happened to me with Pinterest. I don't know why.
Hi, baby boy.
Why?
Okay. The audiobook audition. Finding out that the book is like an erotic romance. Like,
yeah, they're both just like,
He's like, there's no cyborgs in this.
Yeah.
He's like, where are the cyborgs? And he's like mad about it if she knew what it was.
Yeah, she's like, literally, how could I have known?
Literally.
They don't disclose this information.
No. And I'm so curious about, like, if this was, like, accurate to how audiobooks are actually done.
I was wondering the same thing.
I have no idea.
I like the EP. He's my favorite character.
Yes.
Yes, love him.
But no, I just, like, yeah, like, how does audiobook narration work?
Yeah, I'm a curious gal now.
Me too. Like, did she do research into this? Did she make it up? Will we ever know? I don't know. Okay. I think this is when my favorite scene comes in. Is in between that and the next one. Poor Cora. He Rachel?
Yeah. Dev just left, so she's losing her mind. She's attached to him.
Oh.
I'm gonna see if I can get her. You continue.
Okay. So one of my favorite scenes in the entire book, it's like a culmination of two things. It's the paintball scene at the baby shower. You're just not on screen. Also, I just got like an onslaught of like comments that were like not there 2 seconds ago. I miss Greg. Good old Greg. I desperately want a companion book for him. Forrester, absolutely. So freaking Lily. Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
I haven't even seen that one.
Yeah, like they just like popped up out of nowhere. Like the I Miss Greg one was like 10 minutes ago and I just popped up. I was like, oh, chat's kind of silent.
Oh.
Rachel's not saying nothing.
Oh no.
I don't know. I could talk about this book enough for all of us.
Yeah.
Truly. So the paintball shower scene.
Yeah.
So good. And they're like, they realize that they got the time wrong for like their meeting or whatever with the audiobook people. I'm forgetting their names, Darla and something. Like it's just so good. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, we don't have time.
Yeah, he's like, hurry up.
Like, that's when you know something's wrong. When no comments from Rachel come in. Warning signs were going off.
Yeah,
like the paintball, like just the fact, because like obviously I knew what was coming when I was like rereading it and everything. But she was like, we want the theme, like we're all black, we want it to be very classy. And then like they get all there and she's like, it looks like a goddamn funeral. Like,
yeah, she's like, nah. Yeah, I like how she like starts panicking. She's like, Sam, I need your help.
I know, like she goes to Sam of all people. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, I love it.
She's like, buy streamers, buy something. And then like they do paintball. And it's so cute. And I love how close Sam is with her siblings. Like even siblings that were like really young when they were dating, because like he's been close with Caleb and like hung out with him at Caleb's house, which like blew Piper's mind, which I adore. So funny.
Yeah. She was like,
yeah, but he's like, they've been wanting to do paintball for a while. Like, go ask if they want to do paintball. Which I just thought was a genius idea. Like, I never in a million years would have like come up with something like that to be like, oh, like add color, let's add a paintball scene. Like, what? I don't know, but paintball scenes always hit. Okay, they always hit for me. 10 Things I Hate About You. There's a paintball scene. It's gorgeous. Have you watched that movie?
I have not watched it.
It's on Disney.
Yeah,
go
I'm doing you and my mom a disservice because that's also her favorite movie.
Heath Ledger in that movie is truly something else. But that scene in that movie is iconic. And then we have the hating game. I don't like it as much in the movie, but in the book, the paintball scene is so good. And also ends up in like a needing to like take care of the main character situation, which I love that trope where like a character has to take care of the other one. Obviously like this one was just him like showering her off, washing her off. Just so good. It gives me all the feels. Perfection.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. Okay. I know that I'm missing a lot of scenes here, but that's fine. Also let me know if you remember any scenes while we're talking. And Rachel, feel free, write your favorite scenes as well. We can discuss those. We got 10 minutes until Livy comes on. So the pool game and the car scene.
Pool game.
I remember reading that for the first time and being like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like, what am I reading about this?
I was reading it, and then like when it was like getting to like the steamy stuff, Dev's mom walked in. I closed the book and I hit it so fast. I was like, please, she cannot see this.
Dude, the way that one time I was reading A Court of Mist and Fury. And my family was over. Didn't think it through.
Yeah.
My grandma was sitting right in front of me. Like we're on the couch and like I had my back against the armrest and she was like in the next cushion. And chapter 55 came about. Did I stop reading? Absolutely not. I just held the book more straight. And I was like, my grandma has no idea what I'm reading right now. It felt risky.
That's so funny.
Scary. I didn't like it. That's about the riskiest thing that I'll ever do.
Yeah.
When family's nearby
Yeah.
and they just have no idea that like
Yeah.
things are
They just think you're just reading just a normal book.
they would never
But
know.
no, they don't know.
But yeah, the pool game was so fun. Because like Melissa, I hate her. She's so annoying.
Oh yeah, she drove me crazy.
She drove me crazy.
She drove me crazy.
But like she just like had too much of an obvious crush on Sam, and he was so oblivious to it. He's like, oh, maybe Piper was onto something. Like, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, I like how he was like, I think Melissa's gonna be there, and Piper was like, oh, Melissa.
Melissa,
And
jealous
then he's
Piper.
like, what do you mean?
Jealous Piper, jealous Sam. Nothing beats it, because when Forrester like asked Piper for her phone number, and immediately he's like, she doesn't have one.
Yeah.
And he's like, she doesn't have a phone. And Piper's
Nope.
like, I don't have a phone.
So
and then he's like, I can write my phone number on her arm. And he's like, why would she want her number in Sharpie on her arm?
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
He's so jealous. I love it. Like they played the pool game, and like Melissa has no idea that like Piper's a really good pool player, so she like kicks her ass.
Yeah, she's just like, am I really drunk or are you just really good?
Yeah, and like, can you imagine being in the car with like people you know, friends, whatever, your sister-in-law, and like this dude's just like doing what he's doing in the backseat of my car. And like later on, Jane's like, I saw you in the review mirror.
Yeah, I read that today. She was like, I have mirrors, you know, like I saw what happened.
Like how embarrassing.
Yeah, I would disappear.
Oh my god, like he really just like could not help himself any longer. They just both snapped.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, I have no other word. Just.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, the rest of my favorite scenes are of the steamy kind. The closet scene.
The only thing that I could think of in the closet scene was like the microphone is still on. Like, the microphone's still on. Turn it off.
Yeah, me too. There's always, a good closet scene, like in a holidays.
Oh yeah. There's something about them. Like it's just in close space. Even in the X-Hex too. I was like,
oh yeah. Just like close spaces, cute things happen. I forgot about the closet scene in the X-Hex, but you just reminded me. I was like agreeing with you blindly for a second there until it popped in my head. I was like, okay. Iconic. But yeah, the closet scene. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Like they're just recording, and then this is where he truly snaps both of them. They can't resist, and then she's like, lock the door, and he goes to lock the door, and she's like, what's taking so long? And she goes out, and he's like talking to her mom. How embarrassing. I feel like in his head he's like, I was just doing these things to her daughter, and now I have to like talk to her as if like I'm all hot and bothered. Like, and then like,
how awkward that is.
Right? And then she leaves. And he immediately goes back at it with Piper, and she's like, hold on.
Yeah. Like, she's like, wait a second.
Like he just like went right for it. And I'm like, I could never. I'd be like, you just spoke to my mother.
Yeah. And you're just gonna try it? Yeah, no.
I would simply melt into a puddle. I'd be like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So good though. Just so good.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you know how she like deleted all the audio recordings? Did she get them back, or did they have to re-record?
I have no idea.
I'll have to ask, adding that to my list of questions.
I literally never thought about that. You're so right. I was too caught up in the moment to care.
Yeah.
I was like, this is too hard.
Piper get her recordings back?
My assumption is they had to re-record.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't care enough. I'm just like, yeah, that was a hot scene. That's all I care about.
You're just like, man, recordings are gone, but they're making steps.
They're getting closer. Okay. Now we all know one of the best tropes ever is the one bed trope.
Oh yes, I knew it was coming, but I was like, is there gonna be another bed? Is there only gonna be one? So we'll never know. I liked the setting of the hotel room because it was like old. But then Piper, she was just like, what is this radiator? Why is it still here?
Yeah. I also like don't know if like Livy wants me to say this, but I'm going to. I'm pretty sure she said that the hotel room was like based off of or like inspired by the hotel room that her and her husband had on their honeymoon.
Oh.
I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. Like I think like wasn't there like a bathtub just kind of like there?
Yeah, and she was like, there could have been a couch there, but there's just a bathtub.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she said that was like because of the hotel room they had.
Aw, that's cute.
I could be making that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what she said. So, and if it's wrong, then too bad for me because I wrote it in the book.
The damage has been done.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I love that scene because they're just in the bed together and obviously things happen.
Well, I like how they're trying to just like not engage in anything, so they're both like the other way, and then Sam is just like, I hear her breathing, so then he turns around and they're both just like, I was like, attention, please.
So good. And like just to know that like that was their first time with each other because like they didn't do it when they were dating before. It was just like
Yep.
And like also later when they do stuff in her bedroom, it's like another first for them because like they never went all the way in her bedroom before. She's like, this feels different. Like we're in my bed, in my room, in this place that he used to sneak into.
Yeah, and she's like, this is my space. This makes it real. I was like, wow.
Like I adore. I just absolutely adore. Like all the little mentions of like their past of like him sneaking into her room and like them sneaking around when they first like had feelings for each other and just all of it was so cute.
Yeah.
I love second chance romances. It's like my favorite. And I so desperately wish I could have a second chance romance in my own life. It's just not gonna happen. I don't have that to happen with.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I haven't really read too many second chance romance books. I feel like this was like the first one that I read where it was like really prominent, and I was like,
you should read. Well, the XX is second chance.
Oh yeah, I lied. I'm a liar now. Sorry, guys.
A good second chance is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren.
Oh, you've recommended me that one a few times.
Dual POV, not dual POV. It might be dual POV. Dual timeline.
Ooh.
Very good. Very good. Good soup. Childhood, like best friends to like lovers as well. It's cute. Okay, I need to send the link to Barb or to Livy. Oh my god. But real quick, I want to talk about the epilogue.
Oh, the epilogue. I didn't see it coming. I thought like the last chapter was the last chapter, and then I turned the page. That was like he was laying next to me. I was like, there's an epilogue.
There's an epilogue.
I was like, I know what's going down. I know what's gonna happen. I know.
The way that she was so confused, and she was like, "Why are we already working on book 2 and book 1's not even done?"
Yeah.
And then like he just cute little like countdown.
Yeah, the countdown.
I was crying.
I was smitten.
Smitten. Like Sam is a blueprint.
Yeah.
Like God.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, you said something about writing something in the book. I did make one annotation.
Did you?
About Sam's cologne because Dev uses the same one.
Really?
I like the way I gasped because I know this scent. Yeah.
Oh my god, what does it smell like? Is it good?
It smells nice. Oh. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, I literally
yeah.
Like, yeah, I know. I was gasped. I was like, please.
Yeah.
Then okay, you know what? I'll send you like a letter and I'll just spritz it on there so you can know what Sam smells like.
Iconic of you, true. The way that I would put it in the book.
Yeah, you just stick it in there.
But like 10, that's how many years it's been since our first kiss. It was like an explosion of technicolor and sound in my black and white little life.
Yep.
His words sound like they were written for me. No shit, Piper. You're a little slow there. And like 9, the time on the clock when you wandered into McLaughlin's.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Wait, was Sam there first or was Piper there first? I don't remember.
Sam was there first.
Okay.
Like the fact that he like noted the time. Iconic.
It's the little things. When they remember the little things.
This part's my favorite. This part's my favorite. And it ties into like getting like nods into like their old relationship or like their old scenes together.
Mm-hmm.
But 8. How old you were the first time you broke a bone. I know that because your mom let me bring Gatorade up to your room so you wouldn't have to come downstairs. Do you remember how many damn drinks I brought you?
I forgot. She literally mentioned, she's like, my mom like babysat you. Like, I forgot about that.
Do you know how many drinks? Like, I was gonna say something about the Last Hour series by Cassandra Clare, but I can't. But anyways, love that. And she's like, a lot. You brought a lot of drinks.
Wow. Absolutely.
Anyways. Oh, and he's like 6, the number of kids I want. This is up for discussion as I'm willing to consider 7.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what?
Like, just the thought that, like, he wants a big family like her family.
Yeah.
And he's an honorary Bellini. Like,
yeah, that scene, I was like, please.
She also has a pencil that says honorary Bellini.
Oh.
I think. But I also, like, I think I wrote an annotation where I was like, please tell me that, like, he changes his last name to Bellini. Like, just completely gets rid of Oshia. And he becomes Bellini. Or, like, a hyphen or something. So he can be, like, not just an honorary Bellini, but, like...
He could actually be one. I was pleased.
We should ask Barb what she thinks, or Livy what she would think.
Yeah.
You just stop doing that. Anyways, this whole, yeah... And then your mom gave me her endorsement in the hospital, not for the campaign, for us.
For us? Oh my God.
Us. 2, the number of chances we needed to get this thing right. I can't do life without you, Piper Bellini. I'm tired of trying to. Everything, but yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
That's like one of the best proposal scenes I've ever read.
Mm-hmm.
The devotion.
The devotion. Yes. Indeed.
Okay, I need to send the link to Barb. Livy, my God, I need mental health.
You just need to put like a sticky note right next to your camera.
Yeah.
Oh, a sequel? Oh my gosh! Imagine like a sequel, like following like they have a big family. Please.
I simply can't. I can't even.
Yeah, you have planted a seed in brain.
You're gonna break my brain.
Yeah. Ooh, or a novella following her parents. Yeah. I want to see more of their relationship because I feel like we didn't see too much. But the scene at the end before she goes to the hospital, like the way they were talking, it was so sweet.
I love the way that like she thinks that he's like mad at her, gonna break up with her, but like he comes and rescues her from the ditch, or like you know, all these things. I read a book about Piper's kids so fast, but like as adults, yes. Anyways,
yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome, Livy.
Can you hear me?
Your sweater is very cute.
Oh, it is very cute. Like little like peaches or something.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought you said weather, and I was like, our weather has not been cute, but yes, it's my little. I don't know. Let's call them oranges or peaches, whatever. I like it. Hi, Rachel.
After I said peaches, I was like, they could be oranges. There's something.
It's fruit.
Something cute.
There's something of the orange fruit vicinity. You're close enough.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, we just had some tornadoes last night, and now it's like a beautiful, gorgeous, amazing day. So
the weather is confused.
Yes, the weather is confused, but we'll take this part of it. So how are you?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good as well.
Happy and fulfilled because I got to reread your book.
I haven't read it since I wrote it, like since the very last pass, and now it's been like almost a year, and I'm like, oh, I should reread it, but I'm scared of what I'll find. I'm scared of what I'll learn about myself if I read it again.
It's like almost so weird when you work on a book for so long, and then it's like, oh, like it's done. Like I don't need to read it anymore.
I know, it's like kind of sad a little bit, and that's why I feel like so many people write within the same universe because they're not ready to let go. And like we all know, we all don't know. I wanted to write 1 million books in the Bellini series. That's why I made so many of them.
Yeah.
We were going to ask you if you were going to like write a spin-off for like any character, like who would it be?
I definitely want to write spin-offs. I thought about doing a different like like wing of the Bellini family, or just so I could like do something totally different. But probably one of the brothers. I intentionally made the two older brothers like almost old enough to be like heroes of their own books, like set a few years in the future, because my goal was to be able to see like Piper and Sam in 5 years kind of thing.
Oh,
They're kind of young in the books. They're 24 and 26. So I'm like, okay, if the next brother, Luca, if we give him a story in a couple years, then we'll see like Piper and Sam having kids or whatever they're doing. Maybe he's president. I don't know, something.
please, Sam as president. That's the world I want to live in.
See him as president. Let's make it happen. So
Yes.
yeah, I'd probably want to do one of the oldest brother, or both of them, all of them.
Yes.
A book for each of the siblings.
A book of each of her siblings. You'd have to read them all.
I would read everything.
Them all, Leia. So that would be on you. I hope you're ready for that commitment.
We were thinking that you should write a spin-off of Forrester.
So that is what I originally wanted to do. And my editor was like, of all the million characters you put in this book, why do you want to write a spin-off of him? He has like 2 lines. I'm like,
why wouldn't you?
Amazing lines. Actually, he has 2 scenes, and in both scenes, he's amazing. I don't see the problem. Who doesn't want more firefighters? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, that should be the answer. That's the correct answer.
It is. That's what I think.
What month did he have? Because you know how Sam's Mr. February. What month is Forrester?
Give us the tea.
That's a good question. I feel like July is like traditionally the most, sought after month. Like a summer month is usually really big in calendar world. And so he'd probably be like Mr. July with his, summer.
Yeah.
My birthday month. So
see, it's for you. You're the female main character. You're the heroine.
Please, if you ever write a book about Forrester, make the main character's name be Brittany.
I should. I
throw Brittany in there.
I have no idea who would pair well with him. So, I mean, I did once upon a time have like a vision for what I would do, and I've almost completely forgotten it. So now it's you. I'm just totally.
It's me.
Perfect.
It's like me like reading my own like fan fiction, but you're writing it and it's a real book.
That sounds amazing. We should write each other's fan fiction so we get to like experience it. But there's like actual we're in it somehow. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I want to read something with you so badly. Like I know that like we've talked about like a Drunk Girls like short story collection.
Oh, I would like that.
That would be amazing. Anytime like people collaborate, like the more different their styles and backgrounds are, like the more wild it could be.
Yeah, because like ours are so varied. We've got like Rachel who does like paranormal rom-coms, and we have you who does like actual rom-coms. I do YA contemporary. We got like sci-fi. We got horror. Like we've got a whole wide array of things in our group.
Our girlies who like to write about like the end of the world, like let's put romance in, because when you're like fighting for your life against a like tyrant, you got to have a little bit of love in the mix.
Yeah. Something to keep you grounded and sane,
I mean, as a reader, no matter what I was reading, I was always like, and who's in love? who here is in love?
Where's the romance?
Exactly. So I had another question. What was your favorite scene to write?
Oh man, I know the scene I wrote the most, therefore it's my least favorite. Was got to start with the negative right now. The brunch scene in the beginning was so difficult because there's this like introduction of all the characters, but you don't want to give a full introduction to every single person who's not going to be like super relevant. So writing that scene was my villain origin story. I wrote it 7, 8, 9 times, and like I wrote it so many times. So, but it's like my favorite in some ways too, because like it really captures the tone of the whole book. Like the family's all there, but there's still a lot of romantic tension because it's their first time in the house. And you really get to meet the brother and his wife, Caleb and his wife, and then they light the curtains on fire. So, it was a Christmas tree that got lit on fire, and then it became curtains.
I remember that. When I was rereading it this time, I was like, this used to be a Christmas tree, right?
Yes, it was a winter book in its original form. And then one thing led to another, and now it is a wild seasons, spring-ish winter mess book or spring mess book. But yeah, the curtains but like my Italian like family all have the ugliest curtains, and they're always so flammable looking. So I'm like, what, this isn't that much of a stretch. Like this is getting there would be tapestries and they would be lit up and it would be really easy to burn that house down.
I was gonna ask, like, what was your favorite scene, like, as a reader? Like, maybe something that you didn't enjoy writing, but you loved reading. And so, like, I feel like you just answered that with that question. Yeah, we were talking about the brunch scene and like how enjoyable it was to like.
I was stressed
see the chaos
because like I was like, oh no, there's a fire. I was like, the house is gonna burn down. But then Sam came out. I was like, oh yeah, he's a firefighter. Everything's fine. We're chilling.
He really got to. He was in his like truest form, like a transformer in his truest form in that scene. And I had like my favorite little moment. I don't even remember how it ended up in the final draft. Was like I think he handed off a baby or someone handed a baby off just like very calmly. just
like here you go.
And then the dad's like crawling on the ground. Yeah, I enjoy reading that scene back a lot now that it's done. Now that I can't change it, I like it.
Yeah. Like it. So good.
Sometimes the best scenes are the ones that are like the hardest to get right. So like I remember having like a mental breakdown writing a kiss scene one time, and I was like, it was so worth it. But I'm like, God, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Well, because I feel like once you have the finished product, it's like so satisfying. Because you're like, I had blood, sweat, and tears going into this, and now it's here.
It's like I was writing this scene with driver's license just on repeat in the background. Did not match the vibe at all, and I'm just having a breakdown in like the middle of the night trying to write this scene.
Physical scenes are the hardest for me. The more like now that I've written books after this, because as the author, you want every physical scene to like mean so much about who they are emotionally and where they are in their relationship. But also, I'm thinking, did I have Sam and Piper kiss in the rain upside down like Spider-Man, or have I done this yet? Okay, I can do this, because so there's like trying to get variety. But just the blocking of a physical scene is so it's intimidating. It's like, oh gosh, here we go.
I can imagine. It's like a fight scene, but it's not.
It is. You're like, where are the hands? Where's everybody's hands, etc.
Not me just thinking about like how some writers will like act out their fight scenes to write them.
I was just gonna say that, but then I was like, like maybe
I speak too much.
I've said so many things today.
I have said so many things today. It's fine. Did you want to ask a question, Alyssa?
Yes, I was gonna ask. This pertains to the closet scene when things get heated. Did Piper get the recordings back, or did they have to re-record?
I feel like she probably was able to procure them from the cloud or wherever it is that she sent them, because it's like that feeling when you mean to erase like a line and you erase a whole paragraph and you have that pause every time and then you're able to get it back. That's kind of how. And it just had to be enough to send her into a tailspin. But oh man, the closet scene. One of my favorite memories of the whole experience was Brittany reading the closet scene for the first time, because she just so many amazing comments, and I was like, okay, I've done my job. The scene has effect.
I don't remember how I reacted, but I'm sure it was good.
It was nice and encouraging and enthusiastic, and we love it.
That is how I like to live. I live to serve.
I love that.
Did you want to ask another question, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, I have two more questions. So, this one's kind of like a two-parter. So, like, what sparked your writing journey, and has becoming an author like been something that you've always wanted to do, or was it like something that like came later?
Oh, good question. So let me exit out of this thing that's making a lot of noise. I always tried to write. I didn't know it was fan fiction, but I would read something and think, I really enjoyed Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and I really like Bridget. I'm going to write a story about a soccer player who has like the same everything as this character I just read, and it's going to be a different book. But it was basically fan fiction. That's what I was doing for a long time, and I just kept it a secret from everyone because I was like kind of embarrassed. And then in high school, I always wrote. I just never thought I would ever be confident enough to show it to anyone, because a big part of what I like to do, I like humor, and I want to be like making jokes and kind of pushing it and being ridiculous. And so with that comes like some vulnerability. So I was like, no one is going to think this is funny, so I'm going to keep it to myself. And then I made a Wattpad, and I learned so much. I think I learned just as much from the Wattpad experience as I did like in like writing classes about like what people are and what people respond to and all that. And so it wasn't until like 2019 or 2020 where I was like, okay, I could match the writing I am anonymously putting online with myself. And then, you know, discovering pitch wars and discovering AMM and discovering the communities. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of people who are like putting themselves out there. I can be brave. So I just, you know, it was always a part of me though, which is such a like a common answer, I think. But I think people who write and who really want to write at this level are like usually like lifelong enthusiasts or, you know, at least readers, lifelong readers. So yeah, that's me.
Well, I'm
Thank
glad
God.
you were brave and put yourself out there. Thanks for being brave, because now we have
Thank
this.
God. My life would have been so different.
Well, even that book, I remember on Twitter, somebody said something about the mommy milk scene. And it was the first time I had seen somebody perceive of that moment who wasn't my friend. It was definitely the moment where I was like, okay, now I kind of know how stand-up comedians feel when they're in like facing a crowd and they're like, ooh, I don't know if that landed with this person. And so, but I'm glad I wrote this book without having any knowledge of anything, because a first book is always that way. You never know that someone's ever going to read it or how it's going to be received. Because I think now when I struggle with my other books as a writer, I'm like, I have to go back and think about how I felt writing Talk Flirty. And like, it helps me because I'm like, okay, I did whatever I wanted. What did I want to do? And then I go back and I think about that book and I'm like, this is who I am. I should stick true to that. And like, if I want to make a ridiculous scene, I'm going to do it. And it could get cut, but I'm going to try it at least.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like first books are so special. You just do whatever you want. And it's just anarchy.
Well, your books are so funny. So, like, the jokes do land. Because do you know how many funny tabs I've got in this thing? In
Thank
abundant
you.
amount.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's funny because I was saying that, like, when I went to reread this, I was like, surely I can't make any more annotations. Like, surely I've done enough.
You're like, my work here has to be done.
I was wrong. I was still adding more. I was like, how did I miss this the first time?
Yeah, I'm excited to do a reread.
It's so good. It just gets better and better. It ages like fine wine.
Do I know read it again? Thank you.
Yeah. Do I know what that's like? No, because I hate wine. But I'm gonna say it anyway.
It's still, it feels right for me as an enthusiast.
Yeah. I wish I liked wine, but alas, I do not. I'm the kind of person who drinks 7-Up out of a wine glass just to feel fancy, but, you know, be in my element.
I do that with cranberry juice.
That's great, though. It's still bougie.
Yeah, me and my best friend, we hang out every Wednesday, and we started to drink out of wine glasses for Valentine's Day. And then I was like, what about if we just do wine glass Wednesday? Not wine Wednesday, but wine glass Wednesday. So now we just drink everything out of a wine glass.
Iconic.
And her mom's gonna be like, how much wine are you guys drinking? Not a drop. Anyways.
Iconic, I love it.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you what the process was like for adding in Sam's point of view at a later point, because I knew that it was not there before, and I read a version where it was not there, and I still don't know how you did it. And did it feel as natural to write it in as it felt to read? Because it felt so seamless and like it had always been there, even though I had read a version where it was not there. So I want to know everything.
Oh my gosh, yes, this is so. It's funny looking back now because I didn't realize that it was a very high pressure situation until now that I've worked with my editor for a while. And she sort of told me after the fact, she's like, yeah, I knew I needed that book to be dual point of view. But when she told me to try it, she's like, she presented it very casually. Like, what would it be like if there was a point of view for Sam? Like, what, let's see how it goes. But after the fact, she's like, no, that was absolutely crucial. Like, that was the most important. I'm like, oh, good. Well, thank you for not telling me, because I didn't get in my head about it at all. So it was great. But I sat down and it helped. It was a really good experience for like learning, because I looked at Piper's chapters that were all 3,000 plus, words. And I was able to see that at the start and bottom of every chapter, there was a lot of internal stuff, like a lot of her thought process and her observations and stuff that could easily be made into something more dynamic and more actionable. And so I that's one piece of it, was seeing that not everything in her point of view needed to stay in order to communicate the same message, but also there were just a lot of moments I knew would be so interesting in his eyes. Like it was such a cool thing to be able to see her through his eyes. I didn't even know him or her until I wrote his point of view, because the way he saw her, that's what I love about romance is like men who are obsessed with women, like, just absolutely like falling at their feet. But in his case, in like a sort of snarky way. But so I went through and just picked which moments do I absolutely want in his point of view, like in the shower scene and in some other moments where I'm like, what is he thinking? What is he feeling? And then I think I created some scenes specifically for him that definitely weren't there, like him going to the little gym and just like sitting on the ground and being cranky about how much he likes her, and you know, things that really showed who he is, that weren't at all and possible in Piper's point of view. That was the only time I've ever tried Scrivener.
Oh, I love Scrivener.
And
Yeah.
I know, and it was cool because I put each of her scenes in like a little area and like picked and dragged, and it was really visual, so I was able to pull and move stuff around. But anyway, yeah, I just feel like long story short, I really wanted to see her through his eyes, and so every decision I made was, is this going to be, you know, a funny or a poignant moment? Is it going to move the story forward? And how can I see more firemen? Where can I get in his? Can I get to the fire station through his point of view? Like stuff like that. It did make the book longer. It is a long book, but I don't feel like I know. Like even now, if I had to go back and try to cut stuff, I'm like, but what? What could I possibly cut?
I think it's perfect.
Thank you. So.
Yeah, it's a long book, but it reads really fast. Like I flew through it.
The
I
pacing.
think getting rid of a lot of Piper's like thoughts and turning them into Sam's like action ended up being good for pacing. So
yeah,
smart cookie you are. I feel like I said that weirdly.
No, I liked it.
Anyway,
cookie.
Yeah, it's one of those books that just doesn't feel long at all. It's just, it is what it is, and it's perfect. And you don't even like I would read like a big chunk of it without even realizing that like time was passing, which I just adore.
Well, and another thing I noticed when going back and adding Sam was, and a lot of the chapter, there's like maybe 3 or 4 chapters, and it's actually just one scene, like brunch, him, her, him, and then another like fire station, him, her. It like I had to do almost every scene with a little bit of both of them. And so I think that makes it read a little faster because you're like, well, I'm just going to get through the fire station and then I can stop, or I'm going to get through the closet and then I'll stop. But actually, no, I'm going to keep you in the closet for 4 points of view. And I love every second of it.
Yeah.
Oh, the person who said that. Yes. Hi. Oh, I didn't even recognize because it was so small on my screen. Yes, after I finished Planes, which is shorter, it's like 90,000 versus 100,000. So it's a little bit shorter. The team was like, by the way, we want your future books to be closer to what Talk Flirty was. And I was like, I went back and cut 10,000 words of Planes. Do you want me to put it back? Because I have it. I've realized more weird things happening in like public rest areas. Do you want those 10,000? So I was excited though, because I do love to overwrite, because that's where all the like overly gratuitous descriptions and stuff get to happen. So
yes, I love overwriting.
I
am still waiting for my arc of Planes to come in.
It's coming. I can't wait. I'm like, it will feel the most real when you have it in your hands. That's when I'll know. I'm like, it's in Canada. It's happening.
I've been waiting, and you keep like people posting about like their boxes that they've gotten, and I'm like, where's mine? Like, I know I'm in Canada. It's gonna take longer, but where is mine?
Maybe the customs agent is reading it. I dream of this just like book being slowly infiltrating everyone.
They're just passing it around. They're just like, hey, read this book. This is kind of nice.
It's kind of nice, kind of fun, kind of funky. Amazing. And like, I know that I have it in my inbox too, so I could easily just go read it like right now. But I'm still gonna complain.
My mother just finished it, and that was probably the most horrifying thing that's happened to me in a while. So she's a Boston person. The Bellini's loudness is definitely based on her. And she was live reacting. And if I wasn't absolutely like horrified, I would like post screenshots of some of the things that she said. Whew, good stuff. We love it.
I cannot even imagine having my parent read like the steamy scenes that you've written. Like, if I were to like have written them myself, I'd be like mortified.
Yeah, it's horrible. And Planes is worse because it's more graphic. So it's like,
is it actually?
Yeah.
Not me getting excited at that. I need to calm down.
But he's like, all right, I need my copy now.
Right now. Gotta get my tabs ready.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Yes, gimme. We need all of the long
I'm so
Livy Hart
excited.
books.
The covers, like your covers are just so beautiful. Like even the cover for Planes, it's just I love them.
Thank you. I got so lucky, and they're like so
good.
They feel like they go together, even though they don't even have. I mean, like I guess there's the common element of pink, purple. Like I don't know, they're just pretty. Like I just think they're pretty.
Yeah, the color schemes are like chef's kiss. So good.
Listen, all I did was tweet saying that I would do anything to get an ARC, and then they DM'd me. So
I will be in touch with you. We will get you with the goods. I'm like, yeah, everyone can have it. Everyone can have the book.
You get an ARC.
Who
you
needs
get an
to
ARC.
wait for the publication day? Yeah, take an ARC.
Who cares?
I already have. If anybody from Entangled ever watches my stuff, I'm giving away free books. Are those your face casts behind you? You know what? I have Karen Gillan from Doctor Who. I've got a cosplayer, and I've got 2 people from Arrow. I went to Comic-Con and got signatures.
Oh, I loved Arrow.
Oh my gosh, Arrow. Stephen Amell is like the face cast for every man. Every time I read a book, I'm like, let's just start with Stephen and see if it feels right. Like when I'm visualizing what they look like. And then Karen Gillan is like a redhead. Whoever needs a redhead, you've got Karen Gillan. I mean, but yeah, in Planes, there's some references to cosplay, so it's always funny to me when I'm like, speaking of people who people dress up, but
I think Arrow was filmed in my city.
I think it was. I definitely remember it being filmed in Canada when I was like, how do I get on set and like see Arrow? Where do I have to go? Everything good is filmed in Canada.
Yeah,
everything.
For some reason, it's cheaper to film in Vancouver, so everyone films in Vancouver.
It's not cheaper to live there, though. So
no,
what's happening here?
I know.
Exactly.
You tell me. I've got no clue. But there was like a show that filmed at my school, and I don't know if it was Arrow or if it was something else.
I think it was Arrow, because I think we talked about it before. Yeah, you were showing me pictures. You're like, see, this is right. I used to walk here.
Was it Arrow? Yeah, they filmed at my school. They used it for like the exterior of a prison.
That's atmospheric.
Well, apparently, the interior of the school definitely was inspired by a jail. They wanted like a very like open concept, like where they could like see everything going on. So there's like no proper hallways. Everything's very open. My history teacher tried to tell us it was based off a shopping mall, and my mom was like, no, like we toured the school. They told us, the principal told us it was based off a jail, and I'm like, fabulous.
Great.
Yeah. And yet when people skipped class, they would sit directly in front of the office. They wouldn't even leave the premises. They would just sit in front of the office.
They're just launching their power.
Yeah. And my principal joked about it in our graduation speech. He was like, we are the only school where people are going to skip class and sit right in front of the office.
That's an inspiring way to close out the speech. I love it.
He was great. He was a good man. He also referenced me and my friends because we would always play cards. And the librarian would always complain about how loud we were because he would scream if we lost.
No, cards get intense sometimes, though.
Yeah, like Uno and like Speed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I was technically in the graduation speech. It was nice. Love making an impression. Okay, so do you have any more questions, Alyssa?
I have one more, but it's just what's your favorite part of the writing process?
So it used to be making Pinterests and doing all these like visual things, and then now that I've had to like for each draft I've done like make so many changes as I go, like I'm like, I'm not going to do that anymore because then I'm like getting attached to this idea and then it actually ends up not even being at all relevant to what I end up writing. So now I would say my favorite part is right after finishing the first draft, going through and just adding, because it's so much more satisfying to take something that's already there and just like kind of sculpt it and make it more satisfying and make it hit harder. And that's where all the fun stuff gets to go in. I finished a book recently, like my first pass, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm done. I don't usually feel this way after my first draft. And then like when I got my edits back, I was like, nope, I wasn't done. I'm never at it. So yeah,
Like I barely started.
it's actually not even at all a book. So, but yeah, editing is really satisfying. I drafting. I know a lot of people really hate that part. I like that part too because there's no rules. Like, oh, this is gonna change. I can do whatever. So
Yeah.
I hate it. It's the worst.
and I know why. I do get why, but I guess now I'm like every part has its benefits, and I like whatever I'm not doing right this very second. And I
Same.
also yeah. So yeah.
I relate hard to that. But revising is my ultimate love.
It is. It's where the magic happens.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank
This was
you.
awesome. And it makes
So
me so
much
happy
fun.
to see that, like, or to be able to still talk about this book like almost a year later. I mean, that's the best feeling ever. I'm like, my baby still
It still exists. Still
Yeah.
being perceived.
perceived.
Always. I have a copy in my room, a copy above my desk. I'm looking at it always.
Oh, that makes me so happy. It has a safe home.
Yes, I'm obsessed with it, as you know. But yeah, this was so much fun. I think we have to go though, because Alyssa has to go, right?
Yeah, got dinner plans.
Well, have fun. Enjoy your plans. Thank you so much for letting me ramble and tell all my stories.
It was a joy to have you here.
You're a lovely human.
You're a lovely human. And thank you for the commenters who make me feel like I'm like able to, that people are here.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Our March book, I forgot what month it was for a second. Our March book is Blood Like Magic by Lizelle Sambury. So please join with us in reading that one. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this live show, and we will see you guys next time.